Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to try and build a CNC plasma cutter. Will we work? Who knows? I'll go through all the bits in a minute, but yeah, Google, YouTube, CNC plasma cutters. If you don't know what they are anyway, hopefully people know what a plasma cutter is. CNC just makes it robot controlled so you can cut out pretty shapes easily. That's the plan. They're normally quite expensive. At least $1,000 plus. I think I can try and make one for less than that. Only time will tell. Other people have done it, but doesn't mean I can do it. So yeah, I'm not new to this. This isn't, I'm not the first person to make this. Loads of other people have done it a long time ago. Plenty of different ways of doing it. But yeah, we'll just try and go through the way I'm going to do it. I'm just working from my old garage. We've got Lemmy back over to the unit. There's some family things going on that I need to be at home for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I don't know how much time I get down the unit. So I thought, let's clear some space down here. Let's build a little side project that I can nip in and out quite easily when the time allows. And see how we go. Worst case, we don't get anything, but hey, at least you follow me along, a bit of entertainment. We've got a Stella out here and some parts. So let's go through them. Hunter's chicken for dinner while I get that in my head because I've already just bought the chicken. Okay, what we got? We've got some wood, that's spare, don't know if we're going to use that, mostly not. We've got an old 3D printer that we picked up secondhand, got it working, it works, so, but we've got 2 others as well, so we don't really need 3. So we're going to butcher that hopefully and use the motors. Maybe they're too small, but we'll have to just try these things. And yeah, we're going to butcher that to be the motors and some of the bearings and belts and things like that. We've got some extra long extrusion now because this printer only has like a 30 by 30 centimeter base. We want to print much more than that. Could have gone more, but I basically bought some extrusion that roughly meets a CNC plasma table workbench, which one of the kind followers, unnamed, Johnny Depp, bought for us off the Amazon wish list, if you want to check out the description below. Then we've got ourselves a Parkside plasma cutter. It was going cheap. I had 10% off last year and I picked it up. Always wanted a plasma cutter to have a play with. It's only 30 amps, so maybe we could go up a bit of power later. But for now, it is what it is and it's what we've got. I've already started tinkering and buying a few bits. We've got like an emergency safety off button into that because that's what we need. We've got ourselves what they call a gerbil CNC controller. Could have used a controller out of the Ender. But they're sort of designed for, they work a lot better for printers, a lot more options, which you don't actually need with all the heated bed and all that sort of stuff. This is a lot simpler, hopefully. We're not sort of bending the rules slightly. Anyway, you could get away with that. I have seen people do that, but for 20 quid, Chinese thing. And I've 3D printed a case for it, and there's a little relay here later on for the turning the plasma on and off. That's the idea. Haven't tested any of this. This is all stuff that I've just built while waiting. Yeah, let's get some other... Well, I'll get the other bits out, the lance and stuff in a bit. Oh, let's get it out. Let's get it out now. So the lance that comes with these, I've already taken it apart. I'll add some videos in here, Madison. You know, you've got your little, and then the nozzle on the end of that. But, which you can bolt them into CNC machines and, you know, they're okay. But again, don't need the switch down there. That's going to be controlled by the ECU. So I ended up, again, off somebody else's YouTube channel, they recommended it. Just like a vertical lance, shall we call it. I mean, it's plasma cutter head. And it comes with slightly better, more common nozzles and shrouds and stuff like that. So you can buy loads of those again. Some in the Amazon wish list if anybody wants to add to that. So yeah. And then, yeah, that's the lance. So I think the first thing to do is we're going to build the plasma table. And that will give us something then to build everything else off of before we start stripping stuff down. Okay, mostly unboxed. Without cutting my finger too much. So I think we've got 4 legs. Some kind, yeah, 4 legs there. Can't seem to find the instructions just yet, but I'm guessing it's fairly self-explanatory. That's the plasma box. Maybe you can fill it up with water as well. I don't know. These are some corners for the legs. Some bolts, got some wheels and a handle on the end, and then these are the blades that go in there later on for the plasma cutter, and that's like a bottom shelf as well. But yeah, I don't know if I put the wheels on just yet because I might save some of the bolt holes and things because I might need that to mount the robotics on. Okay, nearly got it together. As I said, didn't seem to come with instructions. I haven't bought this, I'm not sponsored by them. Mega Mark, Max. They're on Amazon, I think, other places. Seems to be British based, British made. That's what they say. Yeah, it didn't come with instructions as far as I could see. I'm sure it does, and I've just lost them. But I'm thinking that if you're about to use a plasma cutter, you should be maybe smart enough to build this. I was nearly smart enough, but I forgot to put these bits in, which hold these bits, which I don't know what the real name is for. These are blades or whatever. This is what you rest your material on, and then plasma cut this. This burns away slowly over time, but it's vertical, so it doesn't really burn too much. But eventually, you just replace those every so often and move them around, and just rebuy those instead of buying a whole new bench or floor that you've just cut a hole in. So let's fit those bits and see where we are. Okie dokie, that's not bad. Trouble is, the Stella doesn't fit too well. Bomb bolts will still do. I haven't bothered with the handles of the wheels. I don't need them at the moment. So it's going to be time to go cook dinner in a minute. But we'll go through what I'm thinking. So I've got these bits. They're going to be our two side rails, like that. These, and then you're going to go in between. And then I think we're definitely going to have to change this, but it will do to start with. This will be our rail that goes forward and back, and then there'll be a little trolley on there that goes left and right. Now, I have seen all sorts of people doing different things on YouTube and mounting these differently and stuff, but I thought quite a good idea was to mount this a bit high as you can without losing too much stability, because what you want to do, this bit doesn't need to wobble too much. You want to at least wobble, because obviously then it makes your part more accurate when you cut it, especially if you're doing smaller holes. But having it higher away will help protect all this higher up, help protect belts and things when all the spatter goes flying around. So I think it's going to be a bit of a compromise, but it'd be sort of something like that maybe. That's the idea. So we'll have a think. I think I need to make up a jig so I can then drill these extrusions to then bolt it through. I think that'll be the next thing to do, is make this frame, and then we figure out how we want to mount it, if we do want to mount it high or low. And there's quite some nice bolts here which we can tap into. Thinking stage now. Okay, we're back. After 24 hours on Amazon Prime of realising that on the ENDER3 printer, these extrusions, and on the internet they say, oh, M5, you can tap these two. Well, I tried to tap them, but the hole's too big. Seems like this extrusion that I buy, you can tap at M6. So all my M5 bolts that I bought were incorrect. So I bought some M6s, and then yeah, we got them tapped. So we're going to tap this one as well, all four either end, 8, and then again my bolts that I've now realised are too long. I could try and thread further down, but it's a bit tricky using my things, so we might just cut these bolts down as well and buy new ones. Oh, anyway, let's tap these. Okay, after attempting to make a drilling jig 3 times, we gave up with that, and basically I just described it in the end. You have to drill through these channels. 6mm drill lines up all right, so all I did was basically measure the distance there, measure the distance over the other one to that one, centres, and then I thought it was 10mm and 20mm, but I think the hole centres are like 19.6 something, so that's what was making me go wrong. But anyway, we've got 2 sides bolted on. Going to countersink these at some point so they go in further, but for now that'll do. And I found some shorter bolts as well, which is amazing. So I didn't even need to actually buy any. I had some stainless ones sitting around. Now I've got the other side to do, the other end. But I'm not too sure if I'm thinking maybe I should just bolt that to the end first and then just go from there and we can work out other stuff. But I'm thinking of shorten it at some point, because then I'm thinking that this whole stuff needs to be lifted up slightly, so I'm thinking I can use some 20x20 or 10x10, what is it, 15x15 box, like that, bolt through and captive nut, and then that can raise it up and then I can adjust it all. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking I'm going to go inside now. Okay, the next day mouse and cue that slide. I think I'm going to take some of this old printer apart because I need some extrusions to mount this up higher off the table. I didn't buy enough extra extrusion because I thought I'd have some spare anyway, so I'll take it apart. I might just use this rectangular stuff and cut it in half. That might give me enough height just to lift this. I don't know. See what we got. Let's take it apart a bit. Okay, thinking out loud. Oh, maybe I should have ordered up more of the bigger box section to make the arm going across, but we'll have to just go with this smaller stuff. Downside of smaller box section is it more chance of twisting, which again will affect the nozzle. But I was basically going to reuse this. As you can see, this is slid on, so I'm going to basically try and repurpose this, use the extended piece of this to make this go right across. But that still has so that's our X and Y, and then we'll just have to see how strong this bar is. As I said, by the time you get your Z axis on there somehow, I don't know if I'll use this or not, but I'll have a think. Okay, sit rep, where are we? Different kind of beer came out. I've dismantled most of the other printer. I've put the extended arm on now. I've modified this bracket slightly, and because this bracket also held the screw arm as well. Didn't need to be double-sided, I don't think. So that's that done. I haven't screwed it to this side mount yet at the moment because I need to get the main this other bar in. I'm thinking I'm not going to put it right at the end, but I'm also going to leave the end overhanging because this will be the other mount axes going forward and backwards. So this screws sort of onto the end, so it needs some overhang to be able to screw onto. The other side screws onto the end cap, end 4 studs, so that's not an issue. I keep wondering whether to these have sort of got the limit the switches that helps it find the home position. So I'm trying to sort of keep that down in this corner if I can, because obviously that makes sense for when when you're looking at your drawing your XYs, but I'll see how that goes on there. Anyway, still thinking I've been out here for a few hours just tinkering because it's all an experiment whether to have these brackets the other way, that way, and all the bits I've got. It's always going to be a slight compromise. And we may still be limited on the size that we can actually print, but once we get the thing working, if it works, we can expand the sides so much to a certain extent. I don't know, waffling. Let's have some more beer. Okay, we're making some progress. Don't know if it's in the right direction. So, drilled a couple of holes for this. Haven't done all the holes there. I basically made the gap enough to be able to then mount it off this end plate if I need to. But again, mounting things on here, you've got to be careful that you don't then restrict the movement of this. So you want to try to get as maximum movement as possible, because obviously, why not? You know, we're trying to print off. So anyway, that extended arm, this is a new arm. Maybe a snug too tight, but that's better. We can do a little bit of adjustment on that. So yeah, as you can see there, that's now the rollers is hitting that. But anyway, I don't think it needs to go back too far, because we're going to countersink them anyway, so it should be okay. But the printable area is good. Again, I don't know. We'll have to just see how much that all flexes. Again, it all depends on what you're trying to print and how accurate you want to do it. So, but yeah, we'll have to just give that a go. There's enough on this plate that we can actually make this wider if we need to, or just run another bar across to stiffen it up. Otherwise, you'd have to make these trolleys a bit bigger to give the stability. But again, all possibilities. But let's prove the principle first. If we can get all the drivers and all the computers working. All right, time to go make some tea, and we'll come back another day. Chicken pie for dinner, haven't had that for a while. Okay, sit rep. Plasma. We came out for an hour or so yesterday. Was mucking about trying to get the pulleys and the belts sorted. And yeah, we're going to sort of run it how it is on the printer, where basically the belt runs inside the extrusion background, and then it sort of pins and you clamp it to this and it pulls it back and forward. That's how it goes. I had to chop this mount about because I wanted XY to be finished all here, and I want the wiring simple, so I want the limiter switches here. But the limiter switch wouldn't go on, but then when I discutted it, I cut the wrong bit off and I ended up completely ruining the bracket. So we had to surprisingly fire up the old TIG welder to repair that. But I did see someone's 3D printed one of these, and you can get rid of the idler bearing and all sorts of things. I need to bear basically these belts need to clamp onto here. It's not too bad. I can sort of do a clamp from underneath and we can clamp it on. There's no metal here, so what I might do is take this off, TIG weld a bit of sheet on to extend this, and that can help act as the limiter switch as well. Welcome back to the last part of this video. We've got to get this filmed in the next few hours because the daughter has to work tomorrow, so I'm trying to get her to video it this afternoon, edit it. Anyway, we had a bit of success on the bench / dining room table early this morning that we've got the stepper motor to work. I had a problem because I was using a very small power supply. I didn't have enough wattage, so it wasn't powering the controller board. I swapped over and I used the ENDER3 power supply, and yeah, things woke up and we managed to get a bit of a movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just get the belts on and see if we can get some movement done, and then I'll call it the end of the video and I'll be a bit happy there. The brilliant thing with 3D printing, and we've got one upstairs, is I can print off little bits and bobs, clips and stuff to hold the belts and a few other bits and bobs and brackets and stuff, which is really nice because it just saves you ordering stuff. Okay, they might not last as long maybe, but for prototyping, proves the point of what you want to do instead of waiting and spending more money. And I need to get a haircut, so I'm going to have a haircut before the next video. Anyway, let's see if we can get something moving. I've got two types of clips that I've printed off. I've got ones that are sort of just like, pipe clamps, they're just, whatever they're called, I don't know, they just screw down, bolt over the belt. And then I also then printed off some of these little clips which will go just on the end of these, where they're normally crimped with a bit of copper or something, but so we'll give it a go. Okay, I've just plugged in the X-axis for the moment. The belts are sort of ish tight and yeah, not perfect, but I just want to prove something. I want to see something move, so I've got the controller board plugged in. I downloaded some random software off the internet called CNC 3D. Power on for the control, for the board, for the powers. Let's see if we can move anything. Okay, I wonder if my extension leads. I don't know. We've got power light. We've got a power light on in there. No power light on in there. My extension lead's not working. Take two, hadn't pushed the plug in properly. So we've got buttons on this software just to do X by 10 millimeters or so, but I don't think it's calibrated. That's definitely not 10 millimeters. Hey! Sounds like something. Hey! Let's see if we can get the Y-axis working before we log off for the day. That's pretty good, isn't it? Let's just reduce that to something. Wow, we have two axes-ish working. Definitely not calibrated correctly because I'm moving it 5 millimeters and it's going 20 miles, but we're going to make a mount for all these and stuff. Yeah, we've got an emergency button, wiring, but yeah. So let's shut down and have a sit rep and wrap up. Okay, I think we made good progress. If you like the progress I made, can you hit the like button? It does me the world good at the moment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Check if you were subscribed and you've unsubscribed. And if you want to help me in any way, check out my description. Anyway, yeah, at Y-axis, I expect this bar isn't big enough and tough enough, and it needs to be double the size and stuff. But again, because we need to mount the head on this yet and all that sort of stuff. But I think that may come in the next stage, and then we can figure it out. Only time will tell. We just need to sort of see how much flex there is in the torch head, and obviously it just affects your accuracy. So it all depends on how accurate you want to cut stuff. Mostly loads of problems. If you've anyone built any ones, drop some advice in the below in the comments. I may listen, I may not, and we all like to try our own things anyway. The belt would mostly need a bit of protection as well, because I expect that will get a bit of splatter. So maybe the belts won't work eventually, or need something completely different. Got some wiring, longer wiring to come up so we can actually get this all settled. I think the next thing to do is mount all the power supply and everything like that. And then we've got to work on the head, which I've bought some bits on. I still don't quite know which direction I'm going to go yet, but we'll just give it a go. But anyway, thank you for the support. Sorry about the scam and no other work done on the cars yet. I am booked in to be at the March NEC Classic Restoration Show on the mini kit stand with the scam. I said sod it like the other night, and we're just going to do that. So if you're going to come along to that, let me know. I'll do another shout out later on all about that. But anyway, I think that's enough ramblings and enough long video, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're having for dinner. We're going to get Chinese takeaway tonight. It's been a long few weeks, and we all deserve it. Thank you, Madison, for editing this video.